you've been following my reselling journey for a while now, you know that I try to share what my reselling experience has been like from the highs to the lows. Last week was a high. I mean, it was a great week of sales, but the honest truth is we are now back in a low, ladies and gentlemen. So just like my hair, I don't really know what's going on with my sales. How'd you like that transition? Hi everyone, my name is Becky Park. I am a part-time reseller on a variety of reselling platforms, and today's video is kind of one of the staples of my channel, which is a weekly what sold video. So in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you everything that sold for me in the span of 1 week, and for this week we will be talking about August 14th through the 20th. Now in my personal life, this was the week that I started school. Monday was Institute Day. I had students singing for the entire faculty and just all of like the adults who work in our district. So they sang for probably over like 500, 600 adults. I don't even know how many people it is. And we did some prep work to prepare for that performance. And it was, you know, a week of meetings and a week of seeing kids for the first time. So it was a busy week. I'm not super surprised to see that my sales reflected the fact that I wasn't able to invest as much time and energy into my business as I would have liked. But it was hard, you know, looking at my numbers for this week compared to how amazing they were last week. And if you haven't seen that video yet, definitely make sure to check it out. But the good news is I've already done the numbers for the next week as well, and those numbers were great. And let's see, today is Tuesday, September 6th. Labor Day weekend was just a monstrous. So, you know, it seems like the overall trajectory is, you know, maybe there are some dips, but like overall things seem to be going up as we head towards that fourth quarter, and I am here for it. But let's go ahead and jump right into the sales for the week. On Monday, which was August 14th, on Poshmark, I sold this pair of Vince blue leather snakeskin Diorce pointed toe flats in a size 8. I remember being at a local thrift store and kind of going back and forth if I should get these or not, because there was a decent amount of wear on these shoes, especially like I think on the pointed toe. And I knew even as I was looking at them in that moment, I'm not going to fix these up. I'm not going to do anything about it. I'm going to sell them as is. And so the question was, is it worth it? You know, knowing that they're a little bit beat up. Vince shoes can do really well, but style and recency is pretty important. And these kind of, you know, these were okay in that regard. But I did end up picking them up because they were priced at $1.99 at this thrift store. This particular like local thrift store, it's not like a Goodwill or anything. Sometimes their pricing is so on point, and then sometimes they want to charge $300 for a fake pair of Yeezys that they keep behind the counter. That's another story for another time. But I was able to sell these for $29. So after Poshmark's fees and my very low cost of goods, I did make a net profit of $19.19 on those. So I think that the gamble was worth it. The next thing to sell was this pair of new with tags cool slacks shorts. They had an 8-inch inseam and they were in a men's size 30. These sold for $29. I had way too much into them. I had $12.80 into them, and they also sold with discounted shipping because of a Chrome extension that I use called Poshmark, and so my net profit was only $8.38. I've talked about this in pretty recent what sold videos, but there was a period when I was able to pick up new with tags cool pants at a local kind of like outdoorsy store. You know, they sell Patagonia, North Face, and Cool, stuff like that. And they would have these clearance events where I could get cool pants for like sometimes $10, you know, $20, something like that. But recently the sales have not been as good, and the amount that I can get for cool pants has not been as good. So the combination of those two factors has made for some really crappy returns. And so I'm no longer spending more than $10 on a pair of new with tags cool pants. They used to do so well, you could almost get market value for them, but it's a little bit harder to move them at that price. And like I said, if I'm not getting them for the right price, then there's just not a lot of profit to be made. And this is a prime example of that. On eBay, I sold this Weekends by Chico's perfect stretch black pair of capri pants. They were a Chico size 2, and because Chico's uses vanity sizing, I always Google Chico's size guide when I go to list Chico's items. You'd think at this point, given how many Chico's pieces I have sold, that I would have their size guide memorized, and I do not. Or I should just be smart and like print it out and like laminate it and put, that's what I should do. I should have like a little planner or like a little binder with just laminated sheet. They don't even have to be laminated, but just printouts of those size conversions. So why has it taken me this long to think of that. So maybe that will be a project that I do in the near future. But these were Chico size 2, which was a US size 12. So these pants sold for $17.90, which I was fine with because I got them at a local consignment store for $1.11. That was my cost of goods that day. It was like towards the tail end of their birthday sale, so they drastically dropped the price of how much you had to pay per bag that you were able to fill. I think it was like $15 to fill a bag. So my net profit on that was $13.58. On Tuesday, which was August 15th, I'm chuckling because I made a grave error in this listing. It was this pair of Colors Alexander Julian jeans for men in a size 33 by 30. The issue is that I spelled Julian wrong. I forgot the L. I think I put like an I instead of the L. So there were two I's, and I don't know. I just remember like this sold, and I was like, finally, like what took these so long? And then I looked at the listing and I was like, oh, I spelled the name of the brand wrong. That makes it a little bit harder for it to sell. So these did eventually sell for $25. I picked them up at a local consignment store for $6.80 during some sort of sale that they were running. My net profit was $13.20. Now, if these had been spelled correctly, would they have sold faster? Would they have sold for more? I don't really know. I don't have any experience selling this brand's jeans. I've sold one sweater by them. I've never sold their jeans. You tell me. Let me know if you have a lot of experience with this brand. I like to think, though, that things probably could have, should have, would have gone a lot better if I had spelled the brand name correctly. On Wednesday, which was August 16th, zero, nothing, absolutely nothing sold. So winning at life. On Thursday, which was August 17th, I started off the day with a Poshmark bundle. There were two pieces, and the first one was this new with tags, the North Face Mezzaluna teal pull zip fleece jacket in a size medium. I don't know that Mezzaluna's Italian, but it looked it, so I decided to use my beautiful Italian accent. This was something that was part of a big lot that I got from a coworker. We were trying out consignment, and so she gave me a bunch of stuff. She honestly doesn't really care what happens with this stuff. She just wants to try and make some money off of it versus just taking it all to Goodwill. But even with that, she was like, anything in here that you don't feel like is worth your time, please take it to a local thrift store. And I was like, yep, absolutely. So I would say like a good third of the stuff is stuff that I'm just, donating. But there was a good number of things that I did decide to list, and the deal that we worked out was if I am able to sell an item and get at least $25 of profit from it, I would give her 50% of that net profit. Otherwise, if it was less than that, I would give her 40%. And that's kind of in line with like local consignment stores, I feel like. Maybe even I'm offering her a little bit more. And that way, hopefully she'll come back when she has good stuff and she'll tell her friends. I think that's pretty fair. And again, that's why I'm trying not to list things that are not super worth my time. But this item, I'm saying I had about $8 into once you figure out, what was the net profit, how much percentage do I give to her, what percentage do I keep, all that kind of stuff. And it was a little bit trickier because this was a bundle sale and the second item was not one of her items. But what I do is I see what like the bundle discount is, and then I divide it by 2 and I subtract the original price of each item by that amount. Is any of that making sense? But yeah, so I just kind of like take the savings of the entire bundle, apply it to both pieces, and then I get my number, and that's what I was able to go off of when it came to her payout. But the next item in this bundle was this Athleta Dipsea. I'm not sure if I'm saying that correctly. Maybe it's just Dipsea. Maybe I'm making that much harder than I need to. But it was this black hooded front zip jumpsuit in a size 10. I got this at a local consignment store for $11. I thought it was such a cool piece, and comps for it were like decent, which is the reason I picked it up too. I sold both of these items to someone for $75. That was the bundle price. I had $19 into that bundle, and so my net profit on that bundle was $41, which I thought was okay. North Face especially is just really hard for me to move. I feel like it's a pretty saturated brand. I typically cannot get a lot for it, so I was happy to move that. It was something that I had listed pretty recently, and I just didn't want to sit on it for a long time. On eBay, I sold this Levi's 550 relaxed fit medium wash jeans in a men's size 31 by 34. I have a lot of 505 jeans right now. I picked up a ton at a garage sale over the summer, and I've had some even from before then, so I'm always happy to move them, and I list them right around like $25. These sold for my full asking price of $24.99 on eBay. They were promoted at 3%, and this was from that garage sale over the summer, so I only had $1.50 into them, and my net profit was $18.70. $2.70. You know, the other day, actually yesterday on Labor Day, there was a landscape company and they came out because there's a lot of stuff that the previous owners did as far as landscaping is concerned. There's like a ton of trees, there's a ton of plants, a ton of bushes, a ton of flowers. And I love gardening, but I'm like a vegetable gardener. I don't really know that much about flowers. I don't know anything about like bushes and shrubbery and trees and all that kind of stuff. So our like garden beds were looking crazy. They were overgrown. There was poison ivy in one of them, like the one garden bed along the walkway like to the front of our house. There was just a lot going on, so we were like, we just need someone professional to come and clean it up. And so this company came, they sent 3 men, and it was like maybe 90 something degrees yesterday. It was hot and it was humid, and one of the guys was straight up just wearing jeans, and I was like, how can he wear jeans right now outside doing the kind of work that he's doing? And my husband was like, it's probably because he's in yards all day and he doesn't want, you know, things scratching up against his legs. And I was like, you're absolutely right. There are a lot of people who do that kind of work, who are outdoors and who just kind of need to protect their legs, who need tough, durable jeans. And I think that the Levi's 550, they're not like the most fashion forward, but they get the job done, you know? And so they are a jean that I have found reliably sells very well for me around that $25 mark. So if I can get them for cheap, if they're at the bins, if I can get them, you know, at garage sales for under $2, I am going to grab them. The next thing to sell was by the brand US Polo Association, which is not a very good brand, but it was something that was sent to me in a big inventory buyout from a reseller a couple years ago who just wanted to get rid of all of her clothing inventory. So I bought it off of her. I had about $2 into each item, but this was a gray and white striped polo shirt in a size 4XL tall. There were a lot of pieces from her inventory that were in this like 3XL or 4XL for men, all with like that tall category. And even though this isn't the most desirable brand, I think the size definitely helped it sell. It sold for $19.99, which was my full asking price. It was promoted at 3%. I made a profit of $13.76 on that. On Friday, which was August 18th, on Poshmark, I sold the Zara black beaded mid-rise pair of skinny jeans. They had a raw hem and they were in a women's size 6. These sold for $15. I got them for $2.52 at a local consignment store. That was my average cost of goods for that shopping trip. And so my net profit was $9.48. Some people are so good when it comes to picking up the right Zara to resell. I am not that person. Like, I will look at something and be like, oh my gosh, this is so cute. And it will take ages to sell. And then I will look to see like what types of Zara things are selling for the big bucks. You know, like what are the blogger favorites? And a lot of times it's stuff that I look at and I'm like, really? Like, I don't know. And it may just say something about my fashion sense or lack thereof, but I just don't get it. And there's so much Zara out there, and therefore it's just a brand that I don't typically pick up unless it really speaks to me and it's really beautiful. And that's why this pair of pants was a mistake. Like, these didn't speak to me. These were just kind of whatever. I think I just got them because I knew they'd be cheap. And so I sat on them for a while and didn't even move them for that much. No more buying Zara because it's cheap. It's got to really be a showstopper for me to pick it up. On eBay, I sold this pair of Carhartt black blended twill work chino pants in a size 31 by 34. I also, at that same garage sale where I got those Levi's, picked up a ton of black Carhartt pants. Basically 5 pairs of identical black pants in the same size. And they were all $1.50. I sold those for $19.99, and so my net profit was $15.80. The next thing to sell was this pair of Rampage Frankie 9, that was the style name, silver glittery slip-on strappy heels. They were so Y2K, and they were in a size 8.5M. These sold on eBay for my full asking price of $24.99. These were actually from my coworker, and so her payout was $8.79, and my payout was $13.19. Those, you know, if it were even just a couple years ago, I probably never would have listed, but because of this craze of like kids wearing Y2K 90s styles, I knew that these would sell. Even though the brand is whatever, the materials are cheap, this is the style that the young guns are looking for. So I knew that if I listed it, it would sell very quickly, and it probably took about 2 weeks. The next day of sales that we'll talk about is Saturday, which is August 19th. On Poshmark, I sold this pair of Keen blue hiking waterproof outdoor sandals. They did have like that bungee for a customized fit, and they were in a women's size 6. These sold for $24 with discounted shipping. I don't know where I got these. I feel like someone gave them to me for free. So I'm saying I had no cost of goods into them, and my net profit was $16.22. I love a good pair of Keen hiking sandals. These are what I wear every time I go on vacation, every time we go hiking. They really are just great. Like, it's a great brand. They make great shoes. I highly recommend them. On Sunday, which was August 20th, on Poshmark, I sold this Converse 1-star blue striped button-down shirt in a men's size large. This was made of 100% cotton. Converse 1-star, I think this brand is sold at like Target. It's not a good brand, but it's something that I got from the reseller who sold me all of her clothing inventory. So I had $2 into it. It sold for $12 with discounted shipping because of Poshmark VA, and I made a net profit of $4.07. So do not go out of your way to pick up clothing by this brand. The next thing to sell was this pair of Zia Active Navy Hendrix Pocket LNT high-rise capri leggings in a size 6 to 8. These sold for $25. I wrote my sister-in-law's name underneath this. Why? Oh, no, it's not my sister-in-law. My sister-in-law's name is Tina, but a viewer named Tina bought these from me. So Tina, thank you so much. I was so confused. Thank you for your purchase. I hope that you love them. I hope that you live in them. And honestly, I love the print on these. I thought they were so fun. I got these at a local consignment store during their birthday sale towards the end of the summer. So I had about $4.55 into these, and I made a net profit of $15.45. So always, like, whenever you guys purchase from me, first of all, if you do, please leave me a note so that I know it's someone from YouTube or Instagram or something. I want to like give it even more extra care. I feel like I package everything with care, but I especially want to make sure that your package is amazing. And then also, like, just so I can thank you personally in video form, because it means a lot when you guys support me in that way. And I hope I never come across as like really pushy or aggressively like asking you to visit my closet all the time or whatever, because really I come on here not to like try and make sales from you guys, but to share my experience and just kind of share my journey with you. And along the way, when people do go out of their way to visit my closet, visit my Shopify store, all those things, it really means so much. Like, you have no idea. I never expect it, but it is always so appreciated. So thank you, Tina, and thank you to anyone who's ever supported me in that way. The next sale was this J. Jill Wherever collection, black printed sleeveless maxi dress in a size extra large. I got this at the same consignment store during the same birthday sale as those Zia leggings, and I picked this dress up because I knew that it would sell fast. J. Jill is really out here just like trying to impress me and doing a great job of it. Like, I feel like it has stepped up so much as far as sell-through rate, as far as like the amount that people are willing to pay for it, as well as like how quickly it sells. And I mean, I especially had a good feeling about this because it was a size extra large. So this sold for $28, but it literally sold within a few days of being listed, and I made a net profit of $17.85 on that. On eBay, I had a bunch of auctions that ended on Sunday, and just like what's kind of been happening in the past few What Sold videos, I need to like change the starting bid price on some of these items because I'm just letting them go for too little, and therefore I'm losing money because of the fact that I do actually have some money into them. So this first thing that I lost money on was this Woolrich black corduroy A-line knee-length skirt in a women's size 18. That had one bid of $1.99. I had $2 into it from the reseller who sold me all of her clothing inventory, so I lost $1.60 on that. The next thing was this Land's End traditional fit 100% Supima cotton polo shirt in a size large for men. That I've just like had for a long time, and it wasn't getting very much interest. It wasn't moving, obviously. I think there was actually like a little baby bidding war. And when I say baby bidding war, I mean it went from the $1.99 start bid to the final bid of $2.25. So probably one person placed a bid and someone was like, you're not going to win with that $1.99. And they came in with $2.25. I had $1.02 into that from 3 years ago at this point. I bought out a local reseller's inventory because she wasn't going to be reselling anymore. So I got everything off of her for super cheap. And honestly, like, I keep talking about sales from that buyout, and I think it's because like I have really been aggressive about just finally getting rid of those items. I've been sending aggressively low offers, you know, doing things like auctions and stuff, and that's why you're hearing a lot about stuff from that buyout. But I think, you know, putting this out to auction was the right thing to do, and I lost 77 cents on that sale. The last thing that I lost money on was this pair of Tommy Hilfiger, what is this? Lorada, I think that's the style name. Nautical preppy thong sandals, or like flip-flops, in a size 6.5. These I got in a ThredUp shoe rescue box maybe like 3 or 4 years ago. Like so long ago. And I don't know why I listed them. Like these probably cost someone $7 at like Ross or something. They sold for $1.99. That was my starting bid. I had $5 into them from that ThredUp rescue box, so I lost $4.06. The last sale of the week, thankfully, was not a auction sale, but it was this Melissa Page pink paisley sleeveless sheath dress in a size medium. This one sold for $15. I got it from America's Thrift Supply. They sent me a micro bale of dresses. And someone, you know, I said micro bale in a previous video, and someone was like, why don't you explain what a micro bale is? Just in case there's someone out there who doesn't know. Like, I obviously know, but just in case there's someone who doesn't. And I just thought it was like the funniest, cutest way for her to be like, I don't know what a micro bale is. So I really didn't either until they reached out and they were like, can we send you a micro bale of dresses? And I was like, so what's that? And to be honest with you, like I still don't super know. I guess before getting into this, I should have looked it up. But from what I can gather, I think it's like they put a bunch of clothes in something and then they kind of like compact it into a box. So things are not nicely folded, but literally like things are like pressed together with like machines until they make like a specific shape, like a square shape. And it's just clothes that are like stuck together, you know, not stuck together, but just like shoved together. So I think you can get a huge bale or like a micro bale, which is what I got, like a smaller scrunched together box. And so what they do is like they'll scrunch all the clothes together and then they tied it with like, I don't remember if they used twine for America's Thrift Supply, but they used something to like kind of keep the shape of the bale in place, almost like a hay bale, you know what I mean? And so they sent it to my house. I did an unboxing. It was a pretty awful unboxing. I did not have a lot of pieces that I was very excited about. I was not excited about this dress, but I listed it because I, you know, ran comps and there was like a little money to be made. So it sold for $15. I made a net profit of $11.71 because I didn't have any money into it. They sent it to me for free. I was stressed out a little bit because someone bought it on Sunday, took forever to pay, and I was like, I am not losing this sale. Nobody else wants this dress. This is the only person in the universe who wants this dress, so I need her to pay for it and I need to get out of my house. And thankfully, maybe like on Wednesday she paid for it or something, but I always go off of like when something sold for these videos, which is why it's showing up in today's What Sold video. So those were my sales. You know, I lost money on 3 sales, and then the other sales were fine. There was just nothing exciting. Last week's What Sold, there were so many exciting sales. Things that sold for over $100, things that sold fast. Like, there were just so many exciting sales, and these were just very kind of your run-of-the-mill bread and butter, just like regular schmegular sales, which is fine. So let's talk about my numbers. I only sold things on 2 different platforms this week. I sold 10 items on Poshmark for a gross sales amount of $262. My profit, once you factor in shipping discounts because of Posher VA and Poshmark's fees, that total drops to $204.05. My cost of goods for those 10 items was $54.21, and so my net profit for the week on Poshmark was $149.84. On eBay, I sold 9 items, and that was for a gross sales amount of $129.09. Once you factor in eBay's fees, that total drops to $103.23. My cost of goods was $22.92, and so my net profit on eBay was $80.31. So for the week, I sold 19 items for a gross sales amount of $391.09. That total drops to $307.28 when you factor in shipping and fees. My cost of goods was $77.13, and so my net profit for the week was $230.15. That was pretty rough. And again, I don't think I was listing very much because I was so busy trying to get things ready for the beginning of the school year. And even aside from that, I just had a lot going on, I feel like, at church and in my personal life and whatnot. Just lots of things to take care of. You know, like my own children, we had to get them ready for their school year. Just a lot going on. This was nothing like the week that I had the week before, but thankfully things got better, you know, the following week, and the week that we just finished up was amazing. So don't be discouraged when your reselling business takes some dips, when there are some nosedives, because things will turn around. Things will start to move in this direction. And if you play your cards right, if you're consistent with your listing, and if you're really paying attention to what kinds of things are selling, and especially if you're listing kind of like colder weather pieces, that's what we're going to talk about in the next What Sold video, is list the stuff that people are looking for right now. Right now, people are looking for fall attire. And so my boots, my jackets, those kinds of things have been selling like crazy. And not only that, but those generally go for more than summer items anyway. So it's a win-win. Make sure you're listing the right stuff. And hopefully you and I continue to kill it as we get into Q4. So thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, if you felt like you learned anything, please hit that like button on your way out. It helps my channel just get more exposure. And then also, if you have a friend who you feel like would benefit from my channel or even this video specifically, could you do me a favor and send them a link to this video? That would be so amazing. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!